Hey, what's going on, Kingdom Leader? I'm Nick Flores, and this is Kingdom Leadership, where faith meets leadership, where visions become reality, and where we're building legacies that last. Listen, in today's message, we're talking about how how to trust God even when nothing makes sense. Trusting God sounds easy until your world starts shaking, or until the delays start to take too long, or until the silence gets loud and the outcome doesn't match your vision. But this is where real kingdom leadership is forged. Not when everything is flowing good, but when everything is being tested. Now, if you're going to lead in today's world with a kingdom mindset, you're going to have to focus on influencing culture, shift systems, build legacy. If that's you, you can't afford to have a shallow trust. You've got to be anchored. And in today's message, I'm going to share 3 kingdom truths that will help you stay steady when life gets confusing, when things don't make sense. Now, these are not just encouragements, these are spiritual tools for kingdom leaders like yourself who want to walk by faith and not just talk about it. So let's get into the first truth. Truth begins where control ends. If you're going to lead anything that's rooted in kingdom principles, whether it's your family, your business, your purpose. You've got to stop trying to be in control of everything. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 teaches us trust in the Lord, and lean not unto your own understanding. God doesn't ask you to figure it all out. He asks you to trust Him through it all. That means total surrender, not partial agreement, not a half trust, not a I'll trust you, Lord, if it starts making sense, not I'll trust you, but I'm going to be working on my backup plan. Real trust where your grip ends when you let go. Real trust begins the moment you stop managing the outcomes and you start surrendering fully to the one who already sees the end from the beginning. You might have found yourself in a season where vision is clear, but maybe the timeline feels off, and you've been trying to manage the outcome instead of just releasing it to the Lord. Or maybe you're in business and every pivot you make is driven by fear and not strategy from above. Or maybe you're in ministry and you've started relying more on systems than on spirit. Or maybe it's just something at home. You're raising a teenager, and the more you tighten your grip, the more distant they seem to become. It could be any area of your life, and it can happen to any one of us at any time, especially if we're not careful. You've been trying to make it happen instead of trusting God to bring it together. I've lived this. Back when I was leading teams in corporate and in ministry as well, I thought leading meant controlling every single outcome. But whether I was running a team or I was preaching a message, I was still trying to manage what only God could move. And it wasn't until I understood this kingdom principle that leadership flows from surrender, not performance, that I finally found clarity. Peace didn't come until I finally let go. So here's the kingdom principle I want you to focus on. Excuse me. You can't fully trust God and still try to control the outcome. I know it's easier said than done, but we're going to activate this truth with a bold declaration. I want you to say this with me right now in faith. Say, I release control. I let go of the outcome. I trust God beyond what I can see. Amen. If this first truth is bearing witness with you, type I trust Him in the comments. Let this be your moment of surrender right now. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week we are equipping kingdom leaders just like you to walk strong, to lead boldly, and to stay aligned with their purpose. This takes us on to truth number 2. Delay is not denial, it's development. Wow. Here's what nobody wants to tell you. It's the waiting seasons that can warp your confidence if you're not anchored in faith. But what feels like a pause is often God's preparation. Listen to what He says here in Habakkuk 2:3. He says, though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. Again, God's delay isn't punishment, it's preparation. And if He's not moving yet, that means He's growing something in you that cannot be rushed, because God is never late and He's always deliberate. Maybe you've been waiting on a green light for a product launch or a relationship or some other type of breakthrough, but it feels like heaven's ignoring you. Heaven is not ignoring you, it's equipping you. Maybe you're in the ministry and you're wondering if your calling is fading. You don't think that you're being forgot. You think you're being forgotten, but you're not. You're being formed. Listen, or maybe you're working on your purpose on a different mountain of influence that's outside the church walls. Maybe you're a teacher. You're in the education sphere of influence. You've been faithful, but you're not feeling fruitful. You started to wonder and ask if what you're doing is even making a difference. Maybe things feel slow. Maybe you feel unseen. Maybe you feel even unimportant at the moment. But here's what you need to hear. God doesn't place kingdom leaders in classrooms to blend in. He places them there to build up. You're not just teaching, you're discipling future world changers. And even if it feels like you're invisible right now, your obedience is producing fruit that's bigger than the moment. I've worked with leaders in business and in ministry who almost gave up on their call, on pursuing their purpose. It wasn't because they lacked vision, but because they didn't understand delay. And let me tell you what I've seen. Once a person stops fighting the delay and starts becoming a good steward of the preparation process, that's when doors begin to open. So here's the principle you need to lock on to. Say with me, delay is not denial, it's development. Amen. Now let's declare this with some kingdom authority here. We're going to seal this in our spirit. Say with me, I'm not discouraged by delay. I'm being developed. God's timing is perfect, and I trust him. Amen. Let's keep going because trust isn't just tested in delay, it's refined in the fire. And if you've made it through the delay, get ready because this next test of trust is where kingdom leaders are refined the most. That takes us to truth number 3. Truth is forged in the fire. Trust is forged in the fire. Excuse me. This is one of the tests that everyone wants to avoid, but it's the one that transforms us the most. This is where trust gets real. It's not when everything's flowing, but when everything feels like it's burning. Remember, trust isn't proven in the easy times. Trust is proven under pressure. But you don't have to walk through the fire alone. Listen to what God says here. In Isaiah 41:10, he says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you and I will help you." He goes on to say, "And I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That means you're being forged. If you're in the fire right now, that doesn't mean God's left you. That means he's sharpening you. Maybe you're in a financial fire, or maybe something's going on with your health, or you're just trying to be strong and lead your family, but on the inside, you're feeling tired, you're feeling stretched. Hear this clearly. God doesn't waste the fire, he uses it to refine us. He uses it to refine what he intends to reveal. Now, this is the key. Fire and pruning isn't punishment, it's proof that he's using you. Every branch that does bear fruit, he says in John 15:2, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. What does that mean? That means the fire, the pruning, it isn't for those who are doing nothing. It's for those who are already producing something. And if he's allowing the fire, if he's having you go through the pruning process, it's because he sees something in you. He sees something special and he wants to prepare you for the next level. He's drawing out the stronger, the wiser, and the more surrendered version of you, the leader who won't fold under pressure. Listen, even as a pastor, I've been through seasons where it felt like everything was falling apart. But looking back, those were the moments where God was drawing out of me the version he could use at the next level. Every day is an opportunity for growth. So here's the kingdom principle for us to remember: fire doesn't break leaders, it builds them. And if God is pruning you, it means he plans to multiply you. Amen. Say this out loud with conviction. Say with me, the fire is not my end, it's my upgrade. You're refining me, you're not rejecting me. I trust you, sir, even when it burns, but I know I will come out stronger, I will come out purer, and I will come out even more ready. Amen. Listen, you've just walked through 3 powerful trust tests in kingdom leadership. We've walked through surrender, we've walked through waiting, and we've walked through the fire. But before we close this out, let's lock on to these truths. In your spirit, let's confess these because you don't just want to hear them, you want to live them. But let me repeat these keys for you. We had trust begins where control ends. Truth number 2, delay is not denial, it's development. And truth number 3, trust is forged in the fire. Remember, fire doesn't destroy trust, it refines it. Leaders are built in the fire. Leaders are pruned. Leaders are refined. The Lord is drawing out that gold that he sees in you. Listen, now that these truths have been sowed into your heart, let's declare it out loud. This is more than a response. It's a moment for us to get into alignment. So let's speak this over our life with a bold kingdom confidence. Say with me, I trust you, God, even when it's quiet, even when things are delayed, even when things get heavy. I choose faith over fear. I choose surrender over control. If this word was for you right now, type I trust you, God, in the comments section. Let it be a moment that marks you. And if you haven't subscribed, now's the time, because you were born to lead boldly. And this is where we grow in that calling together. If that declaration that we just did stirred something in you, don't leave it hanging. This is your moment to respond, to commit, and to rise. And as we close, let me speak one final word over your leadership. Receive this word today. You weren't called to be led by your emotions, but by your convictions. You weren't called to figure it all out, but to trust the one who already has. You are a kingdom ambassador. And as a kingdom ambassador, your leadership isn't about titles. It's about surrender. It's about alignment. It's about walking in deep, unshakable trust. Whether you're influencing on media or raising a family or teaching a classroom, or maybe you're building a business, your trust is your anchor. So today, you make that quality decision to trust God, not just when things are easy. You trust Him all the way through. God bless you, Kingdom Leader, and until next time.